In this video, we'll cover Spring Boot Actuator security. So previously I showed you how to expose all the different Spring Boot Actuator endpoints, and you're probably, well, what about security? Like, we may not want to expose all of this information to just anyone on the web. So what we'd like to do is add Spring security to our project and secure our endpoints. So we can do that very easily by simply adding the Spring Boot Starter security dependency to our Maven project and secure our endpoints with one small caveat. So the /health will still be available, but I'll show you how we can actually disable those, and we'll cover that in this video. So once we add this Spring Boot Starter security dependency, then when we access /actuator/beans, Spring Security is going to actually prompt for a login, and the user will have to give their username and password in order to log into or access those given endpoints. Now, the default username is user, and then also as far as the password, you'll have to look at the actual console to figure out what the default password is. So you'll see this entry in the console logs. It'll say, hey, using generated security password, and I'll give you this big long password. So that's one approach, by using the default username of user and using the generated password. But now, what if you actually wanted to override those defaults and give your own username and password? Well, in the application.properties file, you can say spring.security.username equals Scott, and then user.password equals Tiger, or whatever password you want to give. So those are the actual usernames and passwords that Spring Security will use when they're actually authenticating a given user for accessing those Actuator endpoints. Now, you may wonder, okay, well, I want to do something more than just that properties file. Well, no worries. You can customize Spring Security for the Spring Boot Actuator. So you can use a database for roles, encrypted passwords, and so on. We'll cover the details of Spring Security later in the course. We can also exclude endpoints. So to exclude /health and /info, we simply add an entry here in application.properties. We say management.endpoints.web.exposure.exclude, and then we give a comma delimited list. So health, comma, info. And that way, no one can access those given endpoints. All right, now if you'd like to get more details on Spring Boot Actuator and so on, simply go to the link here, lovetocode.com/actuatordocs. I'll redirect you to the official page, and you can get all the gory details here on Spring Boot Actuator. Now, let's take a look at the actual development process here. So the first thing we do is edit the pom.xml file, and we'll add Spring Boot Starter security to help us secure those endpoints. Then we'll actually verify security on those endpoints by going to /beans and so on. And then we'll also go through and disable endpoints for /health and /info. And we'll cover those steps in the next section.